Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Monday, the 20th day of September 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you have celebrated one over the past few days, like Miss Jewel Ebanks of Northside, who celebrated a birthday yesterday, we want to wish you a belated happy birthday as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and also that the memory of your loved one will be a blessing. For those of you who are under the weather, either at home or at a government facility, or if you are quarantining because of travel or because of contact with positive COVID-19 positive individual, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where we can send you a text message, or where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. I'm hoping to have Dr. Steve Macfield in the studio with me this morning. I had some short notice for him in terms of being on the show, but once he gets into town, and I'm sure that he's going to have to contend with the rubbernecking of traffic on the roads this morning, but if time allows, he will join me in the studio as well. First of all, I will share with you the COVID-19 report that was issued on the 18th of September. After that, I will share with you a TradeWinds newspaper article dated the 21st of September 1967. And what it talks about immunization. And who is it coming from? It's coming from a gentleman by the name of P.T. Smith. And he was the director of medical services in the Cayman Islands. And he issued a letter. He sent a letter to the Tradewinds newspaper on the 8th of September, 1967, in relation to immunization. So, starting off with the COVID-19 update, 18th of September, 10 a.m. As of 10 a.m. Saturday, the 18th of September, Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee reported that 1,246 COVID-19 tests had been carried out since it was last reported on Friday, the 17th of September. There were 2 positive test results, 1 in a traveler and 1 in a child who is one of the final people to be screened at Georgetown Primary School. And then he goes on to give figures in relation to the number of persons who have been vaccinated as well. We also have some guidance that has been issued in relation to schools, and I will share those also with you. Ministry of Education, this is the 19th of September, issued on the 19th of September. Ministry of Education and the Department of Education Services advised that effective today, Monday the 20th of September 2021, all students and staff in government schools are expected to wear masks while riding the bus, moving through the school compound, while indoors, and while in a group setting. When playing outdoors, eating, or working independently at their desks, masks may be removed. And this guidance will be into effect until further notice. I will repeat that again. All students and staff in government schools are expected to wear masks while riding the bus, moving through the school compound, while indoors, and while in a group setting. When playing outdoors, eating, or working independently at their desks, masks may be removed. And this guidance is in effect until further notice. Now, we go to this letter that was written to the Tradewinds newspaper. It was written on the 8th of September, 1967, published in the edition, the September 21st, 1967 edition, and it starts, Dear Editor, a number of inquiries have been made about vaccination against measles during the past week or two, including criticism because it is as yet unavailable. You hear that, folks? People were criticizing because the vaccination for measles was unavailable. Here, people are criticizing now because it is available, too much of it, and some don't want it. Okay. I wish to point out, I'm continuing now with the article, the letter. I wish to point out that only a small minority of children in Grand Cayman have had a full course of immunization against diphtheria, whooping cough, tetanus, poliomyelitis, and smallpox. All of these are often fatal and usually crippling diseases. Our medical department is heavily engaged in implementing a program of immunization against these diseases, and when it is felt that the greater majority of children have received this immunization, we shall have time to embark on a further program of inoculation against measles. As the youngest children complete their courses of immunization, I shall hope to offer measles vaccination for them in 1968. Measles is an unpleasant, distressing, and temporarily debilitating illness, but only extremely rarely are complications of any severity encountered, and with modern treatment, these should not progress to either fatal or crippling ends. And it is signed, yours truly, P.T. Smith, M.B., V-Chair, Director of Medical Services, Georgetown. So that was the story on immunization in the Cayman Islands. The other thing that I wanted to raise with you this morning as well, when the mosquitoes descended upon us a few weeks ago, we were all extremely critical of MRCU unit in relation to what was taking place, and rightly so, people wanted to know what was happening and how was the situation to be addressed. Now, we don't hear too much about mosquitoes. No more complaints. Is that because we're not the mosquito situation is not as bad, not as severe as it was? If that is the case, and I believe that that's the case, then why? Why aren't we then complimenting MRCU and the government in terms of what they have done? Some may say, well, why should we compliment them? That's a part of their job anyway. Yes, that's a part of their job anyway, but sometimes the job can be done well, and sometimes it isn't. But we did get reassurances from the members of the MRCU team here that give them a few days that everything would basically be under control. And that has been the case to the point where, as far as trappings are concerned, they have gone from 19,200 in terms of trappings to now down to 65 in the number of mosquitoes that they are trapping. That tells you, the level of success there. Don't have sufficient time to read this complete article with you, but I will share this as well. And this is coming from the Tradewinds newspaper, the 22nd of September, 1966. Mosquito war declared. And it quotes, the enemy, the Mosquito Research and Control Center, is marshaling its forces and preparing to declare war on the greatest enemy ever to invade Grand Cayman. Mosquitoes. These little monsters sneak up on their unprotected prey. It makes no difference whether the victim is a pink-faced tourist or a hard-muscled retired Caymanian seaman, and find a likely spot to attack. Ouch! Smash! Got one. Got one of their little there anyway, the victim might say. Dr. M.E.C. Giglioli wants to get rid of all of them and to keep the enemy down for the rest of time. He, like his father before him, has been laboring to find the best way of completely eradicating the pest. He's quoted as saying, we want to get rid of them for good, not just to abate them, Dr. Giglioli said, as he explained the elaborate system he hopes will do just that. Have to take a commercial break. When we return, folks, I'd like to finish sharing this article with you. And then, of course, we'll go to the 8 o'clock news. When we return from the 8 o'clock news, phone lines will be open. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Charles Ebanks Glidden, 1890-1958. Pastor Charles Ebanks Glidden was a minister of the gospel, pastor of the Church of God Full Gospel Hall in West Bay, a sea captain, a magistrate, and a merchant. He and his wife, Etlyn Nee Hines, were caretakers on Swan Island for some years. They had 6 children, one of whom died shortly after birth. A resident of Georgetown, who found himself in trouble with the law, tells his story. On the day of his trial, he went before the court, Charles E. Glidden presiding. The evidence was presented and the defendant was found guilty as charged. The penalty was a fine or time in prison. The defendant was unable to pay the fine, so the presiding officer, Mr. Glidden, took him outside the courtroom and gave him the amount of money required, and he paid the fine and was released.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
We are island people. We know that hurricane season means preparation now ahead of time, being ready ahead of the fury of nature we cannot control. Preparation that can make the difference between life and death, injury and safety, the misery of loss, the regret of procrastination. Know this now. Hurricane safety begins with you. It's your responsibility and mine. Your medicine, your valuable documents, your water, your place of safety during the storm. Your preparation now will directly determine your outcome during and after the storm. Prepare now. A message from Rotary Central. We serve to change lives.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacist will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I am sharing with you an article in the Tradewinds newspaper, the 22nd of September, 1968. And that article is about the government of the Cayman Islands' assault against the big enemy, mosquito, in the Cayman Islands. So Dr. Marco Giglioli was speaking about his attempt and his desire to eradicate mosquitoes in the Cayman Islands. He goes on to say that the answer is a network of dikes constructed across the western peninsula of Grand Cayman, which is the most populated area. It is in this area between Georgetown and West Bay where most of the hotels and winter homes are located, the doctor pointed out, and therefore the most logical place to begin the massive experiment. I believe that some people would take issue with that these days simply because the rich people with winter homes and the tourists with hotels, that we're going to concentrate on that area first and let the rest of Caymanians get eaten by the mosquitoes. That would not be accepted in this day and age. And if we had a talk show or talk shows in those days, he would have heard about it as well. Just saying. So the article goes on to say, it is here that we begin to learn a little about mosquitoes. That there are actually 19 species on the island, and that most of them have names so long that our Tradewinds proofreader is likely to have nightmares. Aedes, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Now that's a name to strike fear in everyone, even if you didn't know that this monster has a penchant for biting humans and leaving his trademark of an angry red welt. This mosquito comprises 90% of the island's mosquito population, according to Dr. Giglioli. Says now Aedes, whatever its name is, likes to lay its eggs on the damp mud over the mangrove swamps. And when that nice warm rain comes down and floods everything, those millions of eggs hatch into swarms of hungry little bloodsuckers. Dr. Giglioli's idea is to flood the swamp areas and not give the mosquitoes a chance to lay eggs at all. And he's quoted as saying, this would change the physical environment of the mosquito and the particular breed would die out. In a memorandum on his mosquito research and control program, Dr. Giglioli has explained that the proposed dikes would be built by dragline method and the enclosed area would then be flooded and their levels maintained constantly by mobile pumps. This will serve a dual purpose, primarily to deprive the salt marsh mosquitoes of their breeding, egg-laying habitat, and secondly, give access to the area by motorized transport over the 18-foot wide dikes, thus allowing the application of chemical measures from the ground if the first objective fails. The accompanying chart, and they had a chart there showing the dike system, is strictly to give an impression of what is expected to be done and is not an actual working plan. Dr. Giglioli added that the proposed project is a long-term one that will possibly take over 2 years to finish. He's quoted as saying, "We want to follow boundaries as much as possible so as not to interfere with the development of marshlands." This is not the only phase of Dr. Giglioli's war against mosquitoes, not by far. Phase 2 of his strategy is to attempt control in swamp areas where water management would not be feasible, being too far from open water for pumping, or where land values are too low, by applying non-residual insecticides on the ground using mobile or automatic dispensers. The dikes can be used here for penetrating the dense areas. The Grand Slam operation in the mosquito war would be phase 3, which envisages the combined use of aerial and ground techniques to distribute insecticides. This little maneuver would just about wipe out the already depleted enemy. And that article continues on page 10. Don't have a whole lot of time left, but if I scroll down to page 10, I might be able to share it with you. Still have about a minute left to go, so I'm scrolling down, Ms. Susan. I'm scrolling down. People are probably saying, why don't you stop scrolling and read? Okay, let's find page 10. Okay, here we go. And the article goes on to say there is another way, Dr. Giglioli noted, and this would be to spray and be damned using aerial techniques from the beginning. He's quoted as saying this would be merely an abatement of the problem, and while it might reduce the mosquito densities at first, it would not exterminate them. Besides, the hardy pests have a bad habit of becoming immune to sprays used constantly. Anybody wanting to volunteer for service in the mosquito war, Dr. Giglioli said, homeowners could qualify as first front veterans by cleaning up their yards, cutting down grass on their properties, and getting rid of garbage as well. Top of the hour, folks, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Conner. And studio time now by Foster's is 7:59.
School's back, so it's time to give a kid breakfast. Thanks to Tropicana, Quaker, and Foster's.
That's right, and you could win an Apple MacBook for yourself, plus a morning's breakfast, and $1,500 worth of school equipment to a local school of your choice.
Plus, it's super easy to enter. Just purchase any 2 Tropicana or Quaker products at Foster's from now until September 25th and enter online.
Win an Apple MacBook and give back to a local school with Foster's Give a Kid Breakfast. Thanks to Quaker and Tropicana, proudly distributed by Progressive Distributors.
the voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of December 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. A 27-year-old West Bay man has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving and inflicting grievous bodily harm in relation to a fatal crash on West Bay Road back in January 16th. He will appear in court today. He was arrested back in February, then granted bail pending investigations into the incident where officers were conducting a vehicle checkpoint on the northbound lane of Esterly Tibbetts Highway near the Yacht Club roundabout when a green Honda Accord traveled through the checkpoint, ignoring officers' instructions to stop. There was a chase. However, they soon lost sight of the vehicle, and the decision was made by police to return to the checkpoint. A short time later, 911 alerted officers to a single-vehicle collision on West Bay Road near Willie Farrington Drive involving a green Honda Accord which had hit a house. One of the occupants, 24-year-old Shane Ewert, was killed in the crash. Police are also investigating a single-car crash in the early hours of Sunday morning on West End East Road in Cayman Brac. A white Hyundai Santa Fe was traveling eastbound when it left the roadway around 4 a.m. and slammed into a parked car, then hit a house, causing damage to both. Emergency services attended the location, and the driver of the vehicle was taken to the hospital for treatment with what appeared to be non-life-threatening injuries. He was subsequently discharged. No one else was injured in the incident. The matter is under investigation. And in other police news, a 60-year-old West Bay man has been arrested and formally charged with 2 counts of burglary. The charges relate to incidents on the 6th and 16th of August, where he's suspected of breaking into 2 separate businesses in Georgetown and stealing items. He was due to appear in court on Friday. Health Minister the Honorable Sabrina Turner takes time Friday to applaud the business community for their proactive approach in implementing public health safety measures such as hand sanitizing, social distancing, and mask wearing.
This proactive approach and behavior really and honestly speaks loud and clearly demonstrates of who we are when it comes to our community and personal responsibility. It also demonstrates and shows a willingness of everyone who is willing to work hand in hand with your elected government as we do our part to live and manage the control and spread of this virus.
Minister Turner says COVID will not be eradicated anytime soon, but in the meantime, the country can operate safely by practicing good health measures such as hand washing, social distancing, and wearing masks in public places, especially when visiting the elderly and the vulnerable. And the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Department of Education Services, is continuing to issue COVID-19 guidance for educational institutions. The document, which applies to all educational institutions, provides educators with direction regarding the implementation of several key safety measures, including social distancing and cleaning amidst the community spread of COVID-19. The Minister for Education, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor-Connolly, says this document is aimed at supporting local educational institutions as they maintain a safe and positive learning environment for children and aid schools in their preparation for the transition to remote learning should the need arise. In the meantime, starting today, all students over the age of 5 and staff in government schools are expected to wear masks while riding the bus, moving through the school compound, while indoors, and while in a group setting. The Ministry of Education and the Department of Education advise when playing outdoors, eating, or working independently at their desks, masks may be removed. This guidance is in effect until further notice. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Moira Alderson.
A court in Rwanda has found the former hotel manager, who's credited with saving hundreds of people during the genocide, guilty of terror-related crimes. Paul Rusesabagina, whose actions inspired the Hollywood movie Hotel Rwanda, is expected to receive a lengthy jail term. A gunman has killed 6 people at Perm University in the Russian Urals. Police wounded and detained the attacker, who's reported to be a student. The Kremlin has insisted that Russia's parliamentary elections were open, honest and competitive, rejecting allegations of massive rigging. United Russia, the party that supports President Putin, picked up 2/3 of the seats in the lower house of parliament. Hong Kong's stock exchange has halted trading in shares of a Chinese property developer, Sinic Holdings, after their value collapsed by nearly 90%. Investors' fears over another Chinese real estate company, Evergrande Developers. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended 30th of April, 2021, the various life cycle funds have provided returns between 10.5% and 43.2%. And our all-in expense ratio for year ended 30th of June, 2020 is currently the lowest it's ever been. 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
With Logic, you get more things you do want, like faster fiber internet, more TV, entertainment, and better customer service. And you get less of the things you don't want, like waiting, boredom, and disappointment. More of the good, less of the bad. It just makes sense. Or should I say, it's logical. See what I did there? Call us or go to logic.ky to find out how you could be getting way more of what's good.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Always separate debris from household garbage after a hurricane. Debris includes roofing materials, tree branches, and metals. All items of debris must be placed in separate piles and must not cause obstruction to roadways or come in contact with electrical lines. For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Song Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
That's a good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 84%. The barometric pressure is 29.91 inches and rising. The winds are calm. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate light winds and slight seas are expected for the next 24 hours due to a weak pressure gradient across the Caribbean. Isolated showers are likely as an upper-level cyclone drifts over the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers moving towards the southwest. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is issuing advisories on tropical storms Peter and Rose. For further details on these systems, you can visit www.nhc.noaa.gov. These storms pose no threat to the Cayman Islands. Now, the forecast for today is calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of morning showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. And the forecast for tonight, pretty much the same, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures dipping to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 3 minutes after 9, low tide this afternoon at 7 minutes past 3, and a high tide again tonight at 12 minutes after 9. The sun will set this evening at 6:22 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:15. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through tomorrow afternoon, light and variable winds and smooth seas with wave heights of less than 2 feet are expected from Wednesday morning as the pressure gradient across the Caribbean weakens. That's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, celebrate your progress. It's important to acknowledge progress each step of the way as you achieve your goals. Everything that you do to move in that direction gets you a little closer. Planning small rewards along the way can help to keep things interesting and give us a taste of what sweet success will be like.
Change your thinking and change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at how your traffic is shaping up this morning. Steady traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway and further down, busy traffic coming off of Agnes Way, and steady traffic heading towards the Butterfield roundabout of the Estill Tibbetts Highway. Slight delays expected. And continuing on to Industrial Park area, traffic is steady. And on Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, moderate flow of traffic. Light to moderate traffic flow on Owen Roberts Drive. And coming from the West Bay four-way stop, traffic is flowing moderately. And on North Sound Road, moderate flow of traffic. And on Cool Road, some section busy, other section steady. And that's the very latest on your traffic. If you see accidents or incidents on Cayman's roads, give us a call here at Radio Cayman, 949-6990. That's what's happening on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
Bro, do you really have to eat 2 sandwiches for lunch?
No, but one is for dinner. On Tuesdays at Subway, you can get the 2 subs for any size, plus a fountain drink for the price of 1.
Nah, Bobo, that sounds too good to be true. For real though, 2 subs for the price of 1 and a drink?
Each and every Tuesday now until September 28th. Buy any Subway sandwich in any size and a 32-ounce fountain drink and get an equal or lesser value sub for free. For every 2 for Tuesday purchase, be entered to win one of 3 LG 50-inch 4K smart TVs, a Grill Pro, or one of 2 retro bikes, plus many more prizes. Subway's 2 for Tuesdays is in partnership with Pepsi and Progressive Distributors. Prize drawing is September 30th. Terms and conditions apply. See in store for details. The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
For the Health of It is heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. It is brought to you by Holy Cross Health. Quality medical care and advanced technology with sincere compassion and understanding. Our mission is you. Call 1-954-351-5906. Email global services at holy-cross.com or visit Holy Cross Health at holy-cross.com.
Substance use disorders affect millions of people. You are not alone. Substance abuse and addiction can challenge individuals, families, and communities. This September, celebrate National Recovery Month. Recovery is for everyone, every person, every family, every community. Call the Department of Counseling Services, Caribbean Haven Residential Center at 947-9992 for information on treatment.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, so we certainly have an open line for you to call in if you want to. Meanwhile, I'll share other press releases that were issued over the weekend. This one by Travel Cayman. Travel Cayman investigates latest quarantine breach. That was issued on Saturday, the 18th of September, 2021. Travel Cayman was currently working with the Public Health Department and the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service in response to a breach of quarantine by a parent of a Georgetown primary student. The woman was found in breach of her mandated quarantine by selling food and doing other business. Travel Cayman continues to remind individuals quarantining at residence that they are forbidden to leave the premises or hand over any items to persons outside of their quarantine. Only persons making contactless deliveries should visit the properties. The penalties for anyone who fails to follow this rule or up to 2 years in jail and a maximum Cayman $10,000 fine upon conviction. Emphasizing that these requirements carry the force of law and will be strictly enforced, Deputy Governor Franz Manderson comments, and I quote, "The present breach is a very serious matter. Quarantine breaches endanger our entire community. Any failure by persons in quarantine to obey our laws and regulations will not be tolerated." End of quote. The Deputy Governor also added, "Our public safety and public health agencies have been working tirelessly to protect the people of the Cayman Islands from COVID-19 virus. I thank those agencies for their swift response to the breach of quarantine." Travel Cayman Director Cassandra Morris stated that at this time there is no concern for the general public. We will continue to investigate this incident with our partnering agencies. The director also added that I strongly encourage persons who are in quarantine to take it very seriously and refrain from any action that might breach their quarantine. Along with public health and the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, we are all working tirelessly to eradicate the spread of COVID-19 and need the active cooperation and participation of those involved. We can only protect our families, the community, and the nation if those in quarantine adhere to the regulations. Public Health continues to investigate and can confirm that at this point there is no cause for a public health concern. And that press release ended there. So one of our listeners has written in and asked the question. Let me make sure that I find the correct one that was sent in. It had to do with the fact that why is it that persons who are in quarantine, at least the residents that they are in quarantine, why can't they be identified so that people, says here, good morning. With regard to the recent spate of quarantine breaches, do we have any demographic data on the persons who are breaching? For example, does Travel Cayman or the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service have any demographic information such as age, nationality, gender, occupation, country last visited prior to arriving in Cayman, district of residence, etc.? Not to stereotype anyone, but data is important to decision making. Secondly, is there any compelling reason why Travel Cayman, CIG government, cannot put up a warning caution sign at the residence entrance gate or door if someone is quarantining at home or at a private location? Person says, I have heard persons' privacy and human rights mentioned as the reason, but really, hello? So the person has stated some of the reasons that authorities have given in relation to not posting notices. We heard Dr. Lee say that on his gate, or his, on his gate, there's a notice posted there when he was in quarantine as well. I think it's one of those situations, again, where we have to balance the public good, public safety against the individual rights and, to privacy as well. But if we continue to see persons breaching the protocols that have been established, then action needs to be taken, simply because if it goes unchecked, then people are just simply going to continue to breach the protocols that are in place. Now, the other question that I have is when, especially at the schools, in particular Georgetown Primary School, whether or not specific instructions were given to all of those families. We know that it was put out in the public domain, whether or not any sort of pamphlets or written instructions were given to each family member so that they would know what to do. Of course, people will claim ignorance, and there is a saying that ignorance of the law is no excuse, but it is important that people understand exactly what they need to do and what the ramifications are if they fail to do what is required of them. I'm told that we have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. O.C., I just want to add my 5 cents to an article that was published on Friday. CETA leaders, our tourism leaders, condemn the government for delaying the reopening. I just want to say, number one point, I just want to say most Caymanians, I believe, do not share the CETA president position. More so in the light of these incidents. Now, OC, we mustn't operate unfair, we must operate with courage, good science data, and also follow the protocols. Number 2, OC, this hurts me to the core when these guys talk about it's for Caymanians. I mean, Caymanians are not exercise books. Caymanians are not exercise books where you pick them up, use them, and then put them down. See, the president says Caymanians, but I believe, this is my opinion, that's for his conies. And also he went on to say that they are casualties and not villains. But I would just like to remind him this morning, the casualty was the poor handling of my son by Ritz-Carlton. Yes, OC, they were the first one to give. He was the first one to receive the Ritz-Carlton scholarship.
Okay.
But they handled him very poorly because he stood up for his right at one point in time. He was the casualty, and he had nobody to turn to, OC, because a lot of our Cayman leaders, they have cotton balls, and the eyes is between the two batty jaw. He had nobody to turn to. But thank God, OC, President Uncle Biden, took him in his chambers. And just an example like how Pharaoh did with Joseph, put that signature ring on him, and the kind of opportunities that he's getting in the United States, he would have never get here, OC.
Wow, that's great.
And I'm going to WhatsApp you so you can know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And there with, yes.
Go ahead. I was going to say, the irony of that, the irony is that he will go over there and he will get all of that experience and everything else and come back to Cayman, and unfortunately they will probably try to treat him the same way, despite the fact that he would come back with glaring gleaming recommendations and experience, and they would treat him unfortunately the same way when he returns. So they would find some excuse again not to hire him.
Excellent point, OC. But the difference when he come back here, he gonna have money and he gonna have international experience. Those are the two different factors. But I must say to the CETA president, he was the casualty. He's not anymore, but he was the casualty. So I believe majority of Caymanians do not share his position of reopening right now. But I do want to say that they should move it the 5 days to 10 days, back to 10 days. the quarantine.
Yes, yeah.
So, OC, thank you very much for this opportunity to have my 5
And
cents.
thanks for sharing your son's experience with us, and we wish for him all the best, and hopefully at some point in time that he will find it convenient to come back home to share his experience and his expertise with us here in the Cayman Islands as well. I don't know if you heard what I had to say on Friday in relation to I think it was either Wednesday or Friday in relation to the article. They talk about the expressing their sympathies, for those persons who have been affected by COVID-19 and infected by it as well. But they put that on that was the last paragraph in their release. That should have been the first thing. They should have been sympathizing with people first. Again, they showed what their priorities are. Their priorities are one of the priority is to make money to get back in business, and then at the end of the day we'll say, okay, we're sorry for those persons who have been infected and have had adverse health issues from it as well. Caller, thank you very much. You have a great day.
One quick thing.
Sure.
The actions speak louder than words. Ritz-Carlton has a bad track record of handling poorly handling locals. Mm-hmm. And I will say to the CETA president, suck it up. You're a big fella. You make over $200,000 plus perks. Suck it up. Or like where Ray Charles say, hit the road. We'll see. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. We have another caller on hold, but we have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. No one can stop me when I taste the feel. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Had a look at those investment options yet? Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
Radio Cayman News.
Our government will do whatever is needed.
These community positives are doing well.
A traveler who tested positive for COVID-19 managed to board a Cayman Airways.
2 of those children were removed from class and now quarantined as a precaution.
This incident was a clear test of our school's preparedness.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Dr. Macfield may pop in with us this morning. Had very short notice, so I'm still hoping that he will be able to join us. Just want to say that our sister overseas territory, one of our sister overseas territories, Bermuda, over the weekend they had 4 additional deaths from COVID-19. The numbers of the number of persons infected has increased. The number of persons hospitalized is now at 51. They have reached a total of 42 persons deceased as well. The Premier has requested from Government House that before the end of the month that they get more vaccines. They have no plans on having a lockdown at this stage. You may ask, why do I mention that? And the reason I mention that is because it is so important for us here in the Cayman Islands to be extremely, extremely vigilant and cautious. We had a scare last week. We still really do not know the full ramifications of that. And I believe the 14-day incubation period, that will tell us something. We'll wait and see what happens when the testing takes place after the 14-day period to see where we're at with that. But again, just using Bermuda as an example, what has occurred there, we hope and we trust that nothing similar happens in the Cayman Islands, and our prayers and our thoughts go out to the people of Bermuda as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. Billy Simamba here. How are you this Monday morning together with your viewers?
Morning, Billy. I'm good. How are you doing over there?
I'm good, thanks. I thought I should give you a shout on something lighthearted and good, O.C.
Okay.
I haven't watched a beauty pageant probably in 35 to 40 years. But this weekend I was going through some papers and I said to myself, let me find something light to watch. Then I went on YouTube and it so happened that the pageant had just gone live. And then I switched onto it. Let me tell you what, I did more watching of the pageant than sorting out my papers. I mean, I just want to congratulate the people who were involved in that, from the presenters, the ladies themselves, the audience, the organizers. I mean, it was pure class that I saw this weekend, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. And congratulations to the young lady, Georgina Crawford, for winning the crown. But really, all the ladies there, they were lovely, they were smart, and they are all winners. It was good to see the smiles on everybody just enjoying participating in that. And let me close by saying that I will never run for elections in Cayman, but if I were to run for elections, I would want to be Minister of Tourism, because that way I can get the chance that Mr. Kenneth Bryan got last night to walk off with Miss Cayman, being the first person to walk off the stage with Miss Cayman, hooking her hand on him. That's a very, very lucky man. So that's what I would wish to do in my next life. Otherwise, thanks very much this morning. Have a great show.
Billy, speaking of elections, I think you're in the tundra country, right up north there?
Yes.
The elections are due. Is it the 26th or when is it?
No, today.
Today, the 20th. Okay.
The 20th, yeah. So it's neck and neck between the Liberals and the Conservatives. So, but the Liberals might win, but it's neck and neck. So.
Yeah, and there will always be a coalition government there. They probably won't get enough the numbers to form a government on their own.
Yes, because right now Justin Trudeau has got a minority government, and they still expect that he is more likely to have a minority government again. You see, the interesting thing is, last election, what happened actually was that Justin Trudeau and his party they lost the popular vote.
Yes.
But their distribution of seats, especially in Ontario and in the Greater Toronto area where I am, it allows them to win more seats, you see. But today is a big day, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what the implications for Cayman are. I mean, the relationship between Canada and Cayman is always good, regardless of which party is in power. But it will be interesting to see. I mean, I know the Liberals are a little easier on the immigration part of it, but there's not such a huge difference between the two.
Tell me something. Do you know? Do they use proportional representation system over in Canada, or is it first past the post?
it is first past the post. You see, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of constitutional scholars, some of them prefer a proportional representation. They have that in South Africa. They have that, I think, in the Caribbean. I'm trying to think who has that. I think Guyana.
Guyana has it. Yes, yeah.
Exactly. They have that. I mean, each system has got its own ups and downs, but there's no perfect system. I mean, even in America, you can be president, as you know very well.
Yep. Without the popular vote.
Well, but otherwise it's been great and so on. It's a pity that because of COVID and so on, I can't easily come over even for 2 or 3 weeks and so on. But I mean, I keep watching the press briefings and so on. But I think the right measures are being taken by the government. I know there are differences of views about the vaccine and so on, and I keep abreast of some of my contacts there. Want to find out whether there's a legal basis for the government to mandate vaccines and so on. And my answer really has been that, you see, so long as government has a plausible reason for saying we want to impose a vaccine, it's very difficult for a court of law to say that they should not impose a vaccine. Yes. Because courts always understand that there are always differences of views. Even if somebody seeks a judicial review is not to make or unmake the decision. It is just to find out whether the decision was lawful.
Yes.
And exactly. So you see, the courts always understand that there are certain decisions which are for the executive to make, not for the courts. So only when the executive really exceeds its powers, that's when the court will say, no, you can't do this. But so long as they have a plausible basis to proceed, there is evidence that when you get a vaccine, as much as you don't get as much protection as you do maybe other vaccines, you can still spread the disease, you can still do certain things. But the statistics are showing that those people who, as you have repeatedly yourself said on the show, that those people who are vaccinated, they are less likely to catch it, and even if they catch it, they are less likely to get sick, they are less likely to die, and so on. So long as those statistics are there, it will be very, very hard for anybody to legally challenge government successfully over mandating of vaccines.
Yeah, and
it will be very, very tough.
And I have seen several scholarly discussions and articles in Trinidad and even in Jamaica, and I plan on sharing some of those, but I'm waiting until I get Dr. McFeel on, because I have forwarded them on to him as well in terms of some of the legal opinions, like the senior counsels in Trinidad and QCs in Jamaica in terms of their views about the government mandating. And I noticed that even when courts, I saw in one article where a court said that the government should not, they were careful in the way that they worded. It was more like advising the government, look at other options. Don't do it this way. They're not saying that from a legal standpoint that it can't be done. So even the courts in their pronouncements have been extremely careful, realizing quite well that it is quite possible.
Exactly, and now you're speaking about options. That's exactly what the court does. The court can look at the matter and say, okay, here is a problem. What were the possible options? There were possibly 3 reasonable options. If the government takes one of those, the court is not going to say, no, you should have taken option 2. So long as it's within a certain scope of reasonable options, and sometimes there can be more than one reasonable option. Well,
thank you.
Thanks very much, OC. Thanks very much.
Take care, and then we'll look to hear from you when the results of the Canadian elections are given. Hopefully, we'll hear from you on Wednesday and get your take on that as well.
Thanks very much, OC. I appreciate it.
Take care, Billy. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Any callers on hold, Ms. Susan? No callers on hold. When we return, I'm going to share an article with you about the Caribbean debt default, the warnings about that given by a renowned Caribbean economist as well, what it says about the Bahamas and Trinidad as well as the Cayman Islands. So please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.com. or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a new and second location in Governor's Square. The new Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor's Square is open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have one caller. Before I take that caller, two more things I want to share with you. One of our listeners wanted to know whether or not because of the recent COVID-19 community outbreak, whether confirmation can be received as to the census, the status of the census, whether or not it will go ahead, and if so, will quarantine households be identified to limit the risk of spread by census workers? That is a very, very good question. Anyone from the Economic and Statistics, tongue-tying, let me try that again, Economics and Statistics Unit listening in, please send us a message letting us know what the COVID-19 protocols will be in, what protocols will be in place, for the census as well. You can email us at For the Record, one word, For the Record, at candw.ky, or WhatsApp us 925-3261. Someone from the Economic and Statistics Unit or someone who's working with the census. I have a friend who I know has been in training and working, and maybe she will be able to share something with us as well in that regard. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Good morning, caller. Okay, that person hung up. Hopefully they will call back. Just want to point out again, Bermuda, and people may say, oh, see, Bermuda again. Yes, Bermuda again. Bermuda has a population They say around about 66,000 persons. We say we have 71,100 and something here. I don't believe it, but that's what we say, and we hopefully we'll find that out when the census occurs as well. But they are so similar to us. We use Bermuda as examples when it comes to tourism to a certain extent, even though they rely a lot more on cruise, steel cruise tourism as well. But when it comes to financial services, we're there with them as well, even though they may be more into the captive insurance part of things. Their premier has now recently indicated over the weekend that he will be seeking support staff from other jurisdictions to help Bermuda's overstretched health services because of the number of hospitalizations that they have, the number of infections, the number of deaths as well. And I believe I shared this with you last week, that the Turks and Caicos have extended the stay of the Cuban nurses who are over there. They have extended their stay as well. Fortunately for us here in the Cayman Islands, we have not had to resort to any of those things yet. And while I'm at that topic, we hear about the number of vaccinated staff at the Health Services Authority. But we also hear of those who are hesitant or fail to be vaccinated, and we know that they have this PCR testing regime for them. We also know that the hospital has something called Patient's Bill of Rights, and I'm curious to know if that Bill of Rights will allow me, if I go as a patient to the Georgetown Hospital or any health services authority clinic, whether or not I have the right to know if the person who is attending to me has had the COVID-19 vaccination. Because I may want to know that. And question is, will I have the right to know that, or is that person then protected due to privacy issues as well? I think that's a fair question to be asked. Let me see if I can share this article with you. Have about 7 minutes before we go to our headline news. And this article comes from the Jamaica Gleaner, and it was published on September the 18th. Regional economist says the Bahamas, Trinidad likely to renege on debt payments. And it reads, the Bahamas and Trinidad and Tobago have been fingered as the next two Caribbean countries expected to default on their sovereign debt, with widespread repercussions for their economies, populations, creditors, and eventually the corrective policy prescriptions that are likely to come to bail out vehicles such as the International Monetary Fund. Goes on to say chief economist at Barbados-based fintech company Bit Incorporated, Marla Dukharan. I think that name is familiar. She was here in the Cayman Islands as a guest speaker, I believe, at one point in time. That she's warning that long periods of economic policy inaction by successive governments and the fallout from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic have combined to derail prospects of economic stability and sustainability in those countries. For the Bahamas, she adds, the economic wipeout resulting from the devastation estimated at some $3.4 billion caused by Hurricane Dorian in September of 2019 has cast a long shadow over the tourism-dependent country. Now the COVID-19 pandemic now the COVID-19 pandemic has dealt the nation a double whammy. She said that following defaults by Barbados and Suriname, the Bahamas was likely to be next, necessitating restructuring and IMF stringency in the near term. Goes on to say, speaking at a recent virtual roundtable discussion on the prospects of Caribbean economies during the COVID-19 pandemic hosted by the Arthur Locke Jack Global School of Business of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus in Trinidad, Duke Haran, a Trinidadian, reserved the harshest criticisms for governments of the Twin Island Republic. The country, she said, averaged zero growth over the 10 years before the pandemic and hemorrhaged foreign exchange reserves since 2014 while spending profligately and borrowing just to service existing debts that are unsustainable. She goes on to say, we have been drawing down on the Heritage Stabilization Fund to pay recurrent expenditure, transfers and subsidies, wages and salaries. Several billions of dollars have left the country that we can't account for. We continue to run an overvalued currency and borrow to spend on wages and salaries, transfer and subsidies. She said the country's labor force participation continues to decline, but that no labor statistics have been available since 2019. At the same time, she maintained the rate of poverty in Trinidad reached 25% in 2017, but there has been no clear policies to address the problem. The economists bemoaned the absence of clear targets in Trinidad. I'm trying to find that part about the Cayman Islands as well. Okay, here. She pointed to the case of the Cayman Islands, where their currency is worth more than the US dollar. She says the essence of the economic success in Cayman has been their fiscal discipline, in that they have run a fiscal surplus where tax revenues exceed government spending even in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Citing Jamaica as another positive case, she said the country, having exited the IMF program in 2019, was now on a positive growth path driven by sweeping reforms undertaken over the past decade, as well as domestic debt restructuring as well. So I just wanted to share that part with you in relation to the article itself and pointing to Cayman, but also how important it is for us to create that balance and to remain, to continue to practice that fiscal discipline despite the COVID-19 situation. And of course, it will continue to be challenging for us here in the Cayman Islands as well. Time for us to take a break for headline news. You want to take the call, Ms. Susan? Okay. Let's try to grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. If I'm not going to have enough time, can you go do the break and then come back to me?
Sure. Yeah, we could do that. I'm glad you suggested that rather than me. So I'll remind our folks of the numbers. Our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candew.ky. In particular, I want to hear about the census and if people are still quarantining, what policies and procedures and protocols will be in place for those persons who are in quarantine as far as the census is concerned. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
There's the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 1,246 COVID-19 tests on Saturday. There were 2 positive test results, one in a traveler and one in a child who was one of the last people to be screened at the Georgetown Primary School after an outbreak there. A gunman has killed 6 people at a university in the Russian city of Perm. The assailant walked on the campus on Monday morning and started shooting. Students and teachers barricaded themselves inside the university building. Others were seen jumping from windows. Police say they wounded and detained the attacker, who was said to be a student. More than 20 people were injured in the shooting. And a man who was portrayed in a film as a life-saving hero during the Rwandan genocide has been convicted of terrorism by a court in Rwanda. 76-year-old was found guilty of backing a rebel group from exile, which killed 9 civilians in 2018. His family have alleged that he was taken to Rwanda by force. They've also said he did not have a fair trial. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines, and I want to thank that caller for being so patient. Caller, welcome back.
Believe me, I ain't got no patience. Morning, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Pretty good. Thankful to be alive in this beautiful place you call home.
Yes.
I'm not here to disrespect anyone, but I just hope I can get myself clear as clear as possible and respectful as possible. When the young lady came here for jet ski, Miss Skylar, whatever her name was.
Mm-hmm. Skylar Mack.
Yes, Skylar Mack. They did everything that the law had for her. They gave her all of her discipline, but it cut her time. So she left the island, and we didn't know she even left the island. She was left out on, I guess, a secretly arranged, which is okay, fine, good. But when it comes to my people, our people, we are drive from East End to West Bay, and then in the middle of Borden Town. I just say that. I just, I read where we had like 6 or so broke up quarantine in the month of August, and this is September today, the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear what it's going to bring. And I just hope that we, the people of this island, that have been trying to protect ourselves, and we can't stay in the bubble. Don't get me wrong now, please. How are these people going to be charged? How are they going to be punished? How are they going to be deported? Whatever the case may be, because we got laws, and the laws are only for some people, and it's not fair to penalize one and don't penalize the rest, especially when it comes to this COVID. Look at the breaches that has happened since this 5 days quarantine has came in place, and everything is practically quiet to a degree, because in what I am listening to on this briefing, to me, and I'm quite sure a lot of other people, it is not satisfying to ask the people who have been trying to keep this place as clean as possible with this virus to a degree.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We will get an outbreak. But look at it, just after we was going to open here now, we just open just the other day, and we're supposed to open one next month. And then up comes the virus, community spread, or see where did it came from in such a rush? I want to ask you to answer that question now, but you can elaborate on it later.
Okay.
Where it came from and all of a sudden. And these people that are breaking these quarantine rules and regulations, or see, we cannot just warn them and give them a slap on the arm, because that little young lady that claimed that she was studying to become a nurse or a doctor, whatever the case may be, she gone home with something on her heart, a scar on her heart from the Cayman Islands. And we got people here. What are they carrying on their heart? You know what they carrying, the majority of them? Oh, you can get rid of anything in the Cayman Islands. And I need that to be stopped, because if we don't bring up our laws, it's going to get worse in anything in this island, not just COVID. And another thing, OC, the backbenchers and the Mr. Mark Tiger, we would call him again now.
He's the leader of the opposition.
Leader of our opposition, Mr. OC. Now we got two groups of people in there, and it's going to be 19 members. And you want to tell me that those people that sit in the opposition don't have any say with this other part of the government in regards to this COVID and anything else that happened on our island? If they got a voice as well to OC, they deserve to be able to voice their opinion, and they need to be able to work together, because if one man can't fix this problem here in Cayman, in no disrespect, I'm not saying Panton himself directly. I'm saying in the figure of speech, one man can't fix it. We need to come together and be one. And that's why we are so divided in this island as a few Caymanians we got left, because nobody wants to work together, because they think they got it all together. And then all the cookie crumbles, then we are running around looking help to get things taped back up with a piece of bubble gum. We need to really and truly, OC, we need to come together. We're not getting any younger. Families not speaking to families, and this one not speaking to that one. They're working together in the house. They like cat and dogs from day one apparently. We got to stop all of this, man. How can you represent my country? How can you give an example to our children that's in school or out of school to try to go and get in politics? You giving them a negativeness that they can come and do as they please. You need to get them a positive that you can help run this country and have a better country for your family and your children.
True.
We got to stop all this garbage, man.
Yep.
I thank you so much, and I tell you one thing: we've got to get this, these people, stop them on the wrist. And you know what? If this continues, we need to have a certain building to put every one of them in and call that a little temporary prison.
Yep. Thank you.
Jail, whatever you want to call it.
Yep. Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, and please stay safe as well. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you? I hope all is well with you.
I am wonderful, Mr. O.C. I've never made a call like this before, because I've never been 94 before.
Congratulations.
Yesterday
was
my birthday. And my family, they are so very loving and kind to me. They came and they stood around, but none of them really hugged me or anything like that. And I had local calls out of number. I had from the U.S., I had from Canada, and I had from Jamaica. And I want to say, Mr. O.C., it is only because of that wonderful, I know you believe in God. And it is only through His mercy and His love and His kindness and His great power that I am alive today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
He brought me through many heavy waters, but I'm still here. But I want all the people who called in, local calls, foreign calls, and my immediate family. I know that you know my three daughters. I'm positive.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do. Yes.
Yes. And if there's a woman who has three daughters any more loving and thoughtful than mine, please introduce me to her. So, I just want to say, I'm not saying these words to brag. Mr. O.C., every breath you breathe, every breath I breathe, every breath every person on this earth breathes, where do you think it comes from?
Yep.
Comes from God. So, I think that's enough of me running out my mouth now. And Mr. O.C., I always enjoy your program.
Thank you. And I enjoy hearing from you as well, Miss Georgette. Really enjoy hearing from you. And again, I want to wish you a belated happy birthday. And may you live to see as many more as that good man up above decides to allow you to have.
Yeah, I know all your family. You come from a wonderful family. So God continue to bless you and everyone, all the staff at Radio Cayman. I always pray for the staff too.
Thank you.
God bless you all, and thank you for the privilege of speaking to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Miss Georgette. Bye. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am very grateful. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. Actually, Mr. Connor, so many things on my mind. I know you can't spare me the time to get it off. But let me first say, belated happy birthday to Miss Georgette.
Yes.
I did remember her birthday yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't have a number for her. And, because my uncle turned 94 on the 1st of September.
Mm.
It's kind of a reminder of Miss Georgette, because they're all that same age. And obviously she's held up better than him, because unfortunately, and I don't think his family, his immediate family, would mind me saying this, he's come down with Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And, but anyway, and I do believe you know who he is, because, he's the surviving person from that tragedy of the Majestic.
Yes.
So I'm sure he will be remembered, or should be. But anyway, Mr. Connor, this has been on my mind for a while, and please bear with me. I won't get my thoughts together before.
Sure.
Here. But this whole thing, with the travel, and I'm sure I've spoken about this many times, and I always think that even a fool's thought can have wisdom. And it's nothing wrong with listening to people and what they're suggesting, especially based on experiences. And I am very, very uncomfortable with this whole travel thing. First of all, it started out as repatriation flights. And I think we can all agree that's not the case. Then they said it was for medical and students, either coming home or trying to get back to school. And those flights are for everything else except those two things, because when you're going, you can't get a flight going out, and when you're finished, I'm speaking about medical now, and when you're trying to get home, you cannot get a flight home. And I could share an experience that I just went through recently, just to say very quickly that, I was gone for 6 months, and when I got discharged, I was able to travel home. And I was keeping in touch with the flights, of course, hoping every time I was going to get discharged. And then when I got discharged at the end of June, then I was told, there are no flights for July. So I got in touch with Sinoco and Travel Time Cayman, and I asked for their assistance. And then they came back and said they could confirm me for the 21st and put me on standby the 7th and the 10th. And then during that time, I had a death in my family, which, as you can imagine, was very upsetting to me, and especially with what I had just gone through. And so I called Travel Time, and I said, please help me get home now. Told them what had happened, and they said I would hear back from them that evening. Next morning, I received an email, and the email said, can you make the flight for the 4th? That's the 4th of July. So I double-checked with the hospital that I could get my test done and stuff. They said yes. I responded and said, yes, please put me on that flight. Now, the point I'm making is if they could confirm me then for the 4th, why was I not able to be confirmed already? Okay? And I was a patient trying to get home. Okay?
So your point there is that the system doesn't work?
The system is not working. That's the point I'm making. And then they removed the inbound testing, which I think is tragic because they're trusting people to go to reputable places to get the test done. The same way they don't trust the vaccine outside of Cayman, those tests shouldn't be trusted either unless they come from reputable places. And I feel the inbound testing should have continued, and even if the traveler has to pay for it, they have to pay for it overseas, so why not pay for it here? And at least you know it was done here, and whatever the result is, then that's what the result is. And then I also believe that's where part of the problem comes in. I've never thought the testing was accurate. The results were accurate. And people are in quarantine. Then they're not tested till whether 11 days later or 15 days later. And depending on what the test is, negative, they're then let out.
But don't you think that up until last week, or maybe a little bit more than last week, everything was going pretty smoothly, and I'm hearing you talking about the accuracy of the testing, but we really so far had never been exposed to anything like that. With the type of testing that was being required, they had been able to pick up everything. Very quickly, if you could answer that, because I have to go to a commercial break.
I say that based on the fact that in the beginning, when all these tests were being done, that we were told that like 1 out of every 10 was being sent to CARPA for confirmation. And of course, you got different results in many cases than what they thought it was here. And I just want to move on to this before you have to let me go. But I am very concerned about this whole thing with Cayman Airways. I am still wondering, along with so many other people, why are we doing Jamaica flights? Why are we doing these flights to Honduras and Cuba if they're still going on? Because clearly they cannot justify repatriation flights, as they call them, for medical purposes or students.
Got you.
And especially with what has just happened recently, those flights need to be suspended.
Good point. I'm going to ask you to leave us there, gone way beyond our break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Are you feeling sick but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough, and sore throat to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Had a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointments.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
We are in the hurricane season, and knowing what to do after a hurricane can be as important as preparing for the storm. After the passage of a hurricane, seek medical attention if it is needed at hospitals and clinics for those persons who are injured. Do not touch power lines and cables that are down. They may be active. Report them to 911 or the utilities emergency hotlines. Broken tree limbs should be removed from around homes or buildings if possible. This hurricane information has been brought to you by Breeze FM and Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm going to share one WhatsApp. I have a few and I'm going to try to share them at various intervals. This one says, good morning. I agree that every Caymanian child should be fully immunized against all of those mentioned. As a child born and raised in Jamaica, by age 10, you will be fully immunized against all of those diseases. Well, we know what the story is in Jamaica now. They're struggling to get people vaccinated, and it is only after, unfortunately, after seeing so many persons dying that we're seeing sort of a turnaround with that, but we see in recklessness as well in terms of, the way that they conduct themselves, putting not only themselves but others at risk as well. Do we have any callers, Ms. Susan? Okay. I'm going to share this little tidbit with you as well, and I hope and I trust that Mr. Fonzo, my good friend, is listening in. This is, again, September the 22nd, 1968, and this is the gossip column in the Tradewinds newspaper. And this had to do, of course, with the coat of arms. And, last year, I think it was, that we celebrated the coat of arms, the issuance of a coat of arms in Cayman. And here is what the writer had to say when he was going around town. He wrote and said, "Looks like there may be a radical change in the Cayman Islands coat of arms, or so says one government agency." Of course, he didn't say which government agency that was. The rumor was that the pineapple at the top may be replaced by a picture of the Cayman schooner, the R.L. Hustler, which was lost in a storm in 1941. Another government agency says that the R.L. Hustler is going to appear on a postage stamp and not on the coat of arms. Let's get together on this, fellows. So that was a column called Walking Around Town, and talking about the coat of arms, changes to the coat of arms, possibly removing the pineapple and replacing it with image of the Hustler, the R.L. Hustler as well. In that column, also, it spoke about the rains and Princess Royal Park and the water settling around the town hall and the condition of the park with the grass growing up and everything. Of course, for those of you who don't know where the Princess Royal Park was, that is now where our Parliament building is. We used to call it the Legislative Assembly, and now we call it Parliament building. That's where it's located. Talking about airlines in the Cayman Islands as well. In 1966, people had issues about the schedule. Of course, those days we relied heavily on BWIA, British West Indies Airlines, and says the tourism business here may be sacked right in the teeth because of an island hopper flight schedule offered by BWIA. Cayman Islands Hotel Owners Association has charged. Of course, that has now changed to the Cayman Islands Hotel and Tourism Association, which these days is not too popular in the Cayman Islands. Their popularity rating has plummeted, quite a bit based on the stance that they have taken. At that time, a gentleman by the name of Mr. John Hatch was the president of this association, and of course he owned the beach club Colony, as well, and they were meeting then with the members, representatives of the airlines to ensure that we had adequate air service to the Cayman Islands. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, O.C. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. Tell me something. Did you see the schedule for Cayman Airways for the month of October for next month?
No, I haven't. Sorry.
It's quite amazing. There's three. We got it right now. I'm almost sure there's 3 flights to Miami, 3 flights to Tampa, and 12 or 13 flights to Jamaica.
This is per week?
No, I mean for the month of October.
Oh, for the whole month. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. You must be getting a lot of tourists out of Jamaica. I mean, I don't know if we sending back or bringing back. I would like to know what's going on. That's pretty amazing. Anyhow, you know something? Well, see, my friend, we got people living in this country. Caymanians too. Caymanians are not living out nobody. That don't have no respect for their own country. And you know something? There's old saying, when you go to Rome, you do as the Romans do.
Yes.
Well, they came here and they're seeing that we don't have no manners toward each other. We don't respect each other. So you know what we say? You know what they say? Boy, you can't do anything there. And any nationality saying that, You hear what I tell you? All these people don't have no respect for us. When you can get, and I hear the lady that came from Jamaica, positive there. I hear the lady has a Cayman status. Now I don't know if that's true or his fault. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But should it matter?
No, what I'm saying, if she really does have a status, you mean the country that you left your country for to come here and they're kind enough to give you permission to live till you die, or you can go anytime you want, and that's the respect you got?
Good point.
That is saddening. It's very, very saddening. But I can tell you what, sometimes plenty of them got status, all different nationalities. You know what, they look the Caymanian in the face and tell them straightly? I can't say the word on the radio, but you know what I'm saying? We don't need you. We can bring our own friend, do what we want, do it. You can't do us nothing. Nothing you can do us. And that's a sad story. You know something I want my OC? All the OC, man, I want to question this. I hear you reading about all thing about the old seamen thing all the world. Tell me something. How many Caymanians you know that are on record of being deported from countries?
I was thinking about that only this morning. In terms of when we traveled abroad, we ensured that we abided by the rules of the country. Yes, seamen have a tendency sometimes to what you call jump ship or skip ship, but very little of that happened with Caymanians because they know that they had their families that they wanted to come back home to. And even in those instances where if they may have remained illegally somewhere, they eventually got themselves regularized so that they weren't dodging from immigration and customs in another country.
I know. I had an uncle, my Uncle George, he went to sea, and instead of him coming home, he would get off, taking time off in New York to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got, not that he could stay there, he stayed there and he got his citizenship, and he became a teacher in New York. He was on the New York Times magazine for Teacher of the Year from what we place here.
Oh, okay.
Caymanian born, and he educated himself because his father, which is my grandfather, got drowned in 1939 hurricane. So when we read to other people's places, 99.9 of us respected it. But when they come to our shores, boy, that's a different story. But like I told them before, you see the dog that always waggling his tail? When you come in his yard, you know what he gets? He gets kicking the ass. You see the one that from then you come in there, even near the gate, right?
Mm-hmm.
He started gritting up his teeth and growling. You know what he gets? He gets respect. You see?
Yeah, guy.
And right now, Caymanian, we need to do a little. You're not gonna bite yet, but you need to do a little growling, skin up your teeth. Oh, see, you have a nice day, my brother.
Thank you. You do the same, and please stay safe as well. Time for us to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
You can now register to receive a securely verified digital copy of your COVID-19 vaccination status with QR code through the MyHSA patient portal. Sign up is available at all HSA locations and at various sites throughout the community. To register, all you need is your photo ID showing date of birth and a valid email address. Visit hsa.ky and click My HSA Patient Portal for the sign-up schedule and more information.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. 2 callers in hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
By yourself again today?
Yes. I short notice for Dr. McField this morning because we have some changes in schedule, but I'm sure that he was at home still, so he would have gotten caught in traffic coming down.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to call him personally then. So, But just listening to some of the previous callers, specifically the one about the Caymanians when we went abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that we respected the countries, but the country respected us. I remember going into Miami, New York on the second voyage going to sea. stamp 6 months in your passport. How you doing? Have a good day. New York, the same thing. That's when Cayman was respected. Okay? In our days now, what's happening? You know what's happening? I think also we have lost our way in our own island. People here don't have any more respect for Caymanians. Very few that they do. If Caymanians want to get respect, you have to be very bold about it. Think about yourself. Have your self-respect. And don't just turn your head at anything nice that you hear. We've gone too far now. We need to take stock of where we are and where we're going. It is really disgraceful to see the disrespect that is leveled on Caymanians, you know, with all of the experience that we have and all of the traveling and everything else. People want to look down on us because where a lot of those people come from, there is no tomorrow. Look at your island, what's happening with the construction alone. Every square foot of land must be plowed up in buildings. I mean, we got an invasion is actually what we got. And not by good people, regardless of the color of creed. We are in for doomsday. That's how I see it, O.C.
Yeah, Carla, we have to have a discussion in Cayman, a serious discussion in terms of how do we ensure that we remain in control. And when I say we, I mean indigenous Caymanians retain control of our own destiny here. Now, some people may say that you know, is a pie in the sky thing that we're looking to achieve, but that is a serious question that we have to ask ourselves. Otherwise, we become a minority in our own country, and we become a repressed minority in our own country, you know, as well. Forget about the political correctness and everything else. As a people, Caymanians have to find a way to survive and to remain the dominant culture and have the last say, the last word in our own country.
You know what? What you're talking about right now is exactly in the way to find that. We need our own districts, council, that we may have some say.
18 months time, 18 months.
18 months. By that time, I don't know about the rest of the island, by that time in the West Bay, there will be no need for a district council. The thing is, and I am a bold-faced West Bayer, they do not want a district council because we will have some say. We will call some shots. As it is right now, they got the bull by the horn, do as they see fit. Look, my friend, we're early into just after election, but what I see, I don't like, and they need to know that Ormond is saying so. And a vast majority of people are concerned about what's going on here. I mean, if you got, say, 2 acres of land, you are allowed to build every square inch of that land almost. I mean, there's no, if you got 2 acres, there should be a portion of that land left for public open space. Why that they are allowed to do everything that they want because they are the owners? This is where we're going wrong. It is so disheartening to see what's happening here. And politicians, they don't even have time to even give you the day anymore, not even the time of the day. But anyway, you know exactly how I feel, and hopefully that I'll get with my good friend and have a good down-to-earth conversation with you and him.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Elsie.
Good morning. How are you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm good, thanks.
Well, and I guess, I just wanted to agree with Elvis earlier. I mean, you know, just about everything he said was right regarding the level of disrespect that, you know, these people have for our country. I mean, who loves Cayman, O.C.? Question.
Well, and the other question I would add to that, and what do they allow it for?
Yeah. I mean, I like yourself. Oh, see, I live in the United States. And let me tell you something right now, and this is from the heart. There was a lot of things, not to mention now, there was a lot of things in the United States during the time I was there. But you know what? I didn't try to change it. And you know what? Whenever that street light turned amber, believe me, I stopped. I didn't wait till it turned red and run through it. So, I mean, until these things are being addressed, that people have to respect this country and respect the laws. And if you can park your car, you park it on the right side where you're going. Don't park it on the opposite side and leave your doors open in your vehicle so other people can be put in danger and this and that, and got to get an argument telling you to park your vehicle on the right side of the road and close your doors. Don't leave your doors open. I mean, where does these people come from that does this kind of thing? Oh, see, my biggest fear, my first car, I didn't even want to get out on the side that I had to open the door where another car was coming because I was afraid my door get knocked off. But it just seems like the majority of people that we have in this country today, they doesn't give one hoot about, they do care about something, right? And that's that dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Until we get down to roots, Caymanians back in control of this country, you know as well as I do, we are not going up. We are going down, and we're going down fast because these people have no love for this country. It's only one thing you know and I know that they have love for. And once that is coming their way, because the lifestyle that they possess here, they could never in a million years. And you think because of that, all of this, that they would love paradise and enjoy it and want to see the best of this country and not just throw their garbage and just get on the side of the road and they urinate and don't care. You could be coming down the road with your 60-year-old daughter. Dad, what am I doing on the side of the road? Oh, that's a dog. That's not a human being. You know, it's crazy, OC. Anyway, my friend, sorry after the ride, so enjoy your ride.
Thank you very much. It's pretty dangerous out there at times, but
yeah. Take care, OC.
You too. All the best. Any calls, Miss Susan? Okay. Share WhatsApp message again. This one says, don't you think that the problem we have now with the community spread of the COVID-19, the problems that we have are, there are two reasons. Firstly, moving the quarantine time from 10 days to 5 days. Second reason, no one is being prosecuted for breaking the quarantine law. So they are breaking it left and right. Since Skylar and Ramjeet, how many were fined and or jailed? The government makes excuses for them so they won't have to pay their penalties. I'm not sure about that, but I think the point is that let me see if there's any other part of it. The point is that it takes time for investigations to take place. It is more difficult to investigate while the person is in quarantine because you may end up having to breach those quarantine protocols just to simply investigate a breach. So you don't want that to happen as well. But obviously, people want to see more immediate action taken. And maybe the authorities need to give out more information as well as to what is taking place and what they're doing. We know the reluctance of law enforcement to give out names and things of that nature, but they can still tell us what's happening. Let's take the commercial break, Ms. Susan, and then we will take the caller that we have on hold. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay.
No one can stop me when I taste the feel.
Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Had a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
If you think you might be infected with COVID-19, take these steps to help prevent other people from getting sick. Stay home except to seek medical care. Call your doctor before visiting. Separate yourself from others who live with you. Wear a mask. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue and clean your hands right away. Schedule a COVID-19 test by visiting hsa.ky. Stay aware of how you feel. If you start to have difficulty breathing or if you're worried about your health, call your doctor. For more tips, visit www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
Join us on Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 a.m. on Radio Cayman for The Business Buzz. The Business Buzz is produced by Susan Watson and hosted by Anita Khan, who brings her own unique, enthusiastic, and engaging perspective to The Business Buzz. Tune in as we put a spotlight on a wide cross-section of businesses in the Cayman Islands. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 a.m. on Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a caller on hold. We're going to take that caller. Just want to remind anyone listening in government who may be involved with the Economics and Statistics Unit or involved in the census. People want to know what are the protocols that you will have in place once the census begins. And I think that's, is it the 1st of October? Census day starts. I'll have to look that up. But people want to know what's going to be happening, especially with those persons who are in quarantine. How will they be identified and everything else? Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. That caller has left us. One person wanted to know what is the status of the couple who traveled from Jamaica recently and that were able to evade some of the checks or presented false negative when traveling to the Cayman Islands until it was detected by a Customs and Border Control officer here in the Cayman Islands. We heard Cayman Airways, the CEO of Cayman Airways, saying that they had put measures in place in Kingston, Jamaica, in relation to that. I think there was also an assurance that they would keep the public informed, either Cayman Airways or at least their government authorities in general. Haven't heard any more about that. The point is that people, when they hear nothing, they assume that nothing is happening, nothing is taking place. Not only that, I think it helps to embolden those persons who are prepared to take the risks and break quarantine protocols, as well, especially if they don't hear of any sanctions or any actions that's been taken against those persons who have committed the alleged breaches as well. So this one I'm going to share with you has nothing to do with COVID-19, but one of the concerns that we have heard over and over about insurance. This person says, I have now experienced the pangs of the insurance company like others did after Hurricane Ivan. After paying insurance religiously for 16 years, okay, here we go. For 16 years, at approximately, my computer is acting up on me, and it just logged me out. Anyway, the person, I think I can paraphrase what they were saying. They've been paying over $3,000 per year for 16 years. They ended up with damage during the last storm, and their insurance company is now telling them that they were underinsured, and they're only being offered $1,900 after deductible to repair their roof, which doesn't come anywhere near what they need for the repair of their roof. Again, you may want to have someone look at your agreement to see whether or not the insurance company may be breaching the policy in itself. You may also want to see what the adjuster, challenge the adjuster's assessment. But I would say that your best bet is to try to seek legal advice to see whether or not you may have a case in that regard. Checking all of the WhatsApp messages. This one has the same thing to do with the couple. Going back to my savior, the Tradewinds newspaper. And this one is from 1967, September 1967. Those days, just like today, we do get in the print media government notices. Of course, we have government has other tools and other platforms to advise us of precautions that we should take in the event of a hurricane. But in 1966, the government issued notice in September about the various hurricane precautions to be taken. In those days, the following buildings were used as reception centers for hurricane. In Georgetown, it was the Town Hall, which is now Constitution Hall. In West Bay, it was the Town Hall. In Bordentown, it was the Town Hall. In East End, it was the Town Hall. North Side, it was the Town Hall. Old Man Bay, it was the Presbyterian Church. Savannah, it was the government school. In Breakers, it was the Church of God Gospel Hall. In South Sound, it was the Presbyterian Church. And we even had wardens in those days as well. And that notification said the following have undertaken to act as wardens in Georgetown. It was T.H.E. Marin. That would Dr. T.H.E. Marin, John Gray, and John Gray. In West Bay, it was the late Mr. Graham Ebanks, Mr. John Bothwell, Mr. Arthur Ebanks, Miss Genevieve Borden. In Bordentown, the person who volunteered to be a warden was Nurse Evelyn Wood, one of our national heroes. In East End, Mr. Warren Connolly was a warden. In North Side, the late Mr. Craddock Ebanks was a warden. Old Man Bay, Mrs. Ellery Miller. In Savannah Sports area, Miss Star Crichton. In Breakers, Mrs. Ella Webster. In South Sound, Nurse Annie Bush. Those were persons who had volunteered. Now, I know a lot of you join a come latelys, either by plane or even born in Cayman, probably do not recognize some of these names, but the old diehard Caymanians would recognize all of those persons who volunteered to be wardens as well. And if you notice that our government buildings were used at that point in time as well. Also in the 60s, we had something called Pioneer Industries, where persons made applications for to be a pioneer industry. And as a result of that, there were certain customs duty waivers that they were entitled to. And of course, we hear a lot of talk about waiving duties for businesses these days as well. And there was an application by Mr. William Langley Wood for pioneer status under the Pioneer Industries law in relation to proposed importation of an improved breed of beef cattle, pigs, sheep, goats, and chickens, with a view to supplying milk cheese, butter, hams, sausages, cured bacon, broilers, eggs, and more available beef in the Cayman Islands. Also, Mr. Ernest Panton in 1966 had also retired. And you may recall, 1967, and you recall that he was made the PRO, which was the Public Relations Officer for the government of the Cayman Islands. But Mr. Ernest also advertised his personal services, and he put an ad in the Trade Winds newspaper in 1967, personal services, Mr. Ernest O. Panton. Mr. Ernest O. Panton, ISO MBE JP, announces that on Monday, September the 18th, he opened an office at his home on Crew Road, Georgetown, where he will be happy to interview and assist members of the general public daily between the hours of 9 a.m. and noon, except Sundays, on such matters as 1. The proper procedure in obtaining passports. 2. United States Social Security matters. 3. Correspondence relating to United States immigration visas. 4. Letter writing of whatever nature. 5. The securing of other information of interest to applicants. Charges are reasonable, and the cost of transportation to his residency will be taken into account. What? You talk about service? The cost of transportation will be taken into account. Those are the days of gentlemen. Gentlemen days in the Cayman Islands. It says overseas correspondents are also solicited. Of course, Mr. Ernest Panton also became one of the renowned marriage officers in the Cayman Islands, and extremely vigilant when it came to marriages taking place as well. And we also know in those days and later days, when certain nationalities obtained Caymanian status simply by virtue of the marriage and no more, we had to be extremely vigilant about marriages of convenience in the Cayman Islands as well. Of course, there are those who will argue that every marriage is a marriage of convenience. But from an immigration standpoint, a marriage of convenience is a person who is seeking to marry someone with connections in the case of the Cayman Islands to obtain an advantage under the immigration law as well. I know I've covered a lot this morning, and some of those topics that I just mentioned really would prompt a lot of conversation as well, but unfortunately that won't take place today because we've reached the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. So I want to thank you folks for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Light winds and slight seas are expected for the next 24 hours due to a weak pressure gradient across the Caribbean. Isolated showers are likely as an upper-level trough drifts across the northwest Caribbean. Our forecast calls for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of rain and thunder. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. A body matching the description of missing woman Gabby Petito has been found by crews searching a national park in the U.S. state of Wyoming. FBI agent Charles Jones told the media, quote, "As every parent can imagine, this is an incredibly difficult time for her family." He added the cause of death has not been determined. The 22-year-old was visiting Grand Teton National Park with her fiancé, Brian Landry, when she disappeared. Landry is declared as a person of interest in the case but has not been charged with any crime. And Netflix's royal drama The Crown and Apple TV comedy Ted Lasso were the big winners at Sunday's Emmy Awards. The Crown's prizes include Best Drama Series and 4 acting wins. The Crown's victory in the Best Drama Series category is not the first time a streaming service has won the top prize at the Emmys, but it does mark the first victory for Netflix. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
RC Fusion.
Brought to you by TCE Paint Shop. Has 3 locations to better serve your home decor needs. Cox Lumber Sparky Drive, Cox Lumber Boddingtown, and the original store at 27 Godfrey Nixon Way.
RC Fusion. RC Fusion.
The Georgetown Farmers Market. It's time you start eating local. The market at the Cricket Grounds. Proudly Caymanian and 100% fresh.
RC Fusion. RC Fusion.
Blue Marlin, queen of the sea and by land.
Oh man, the food is awesome.
Call 947-4752 to place your order.
RC Fusion.
Also brought to you by E2, value and variety in Cannon Place Industrial Park. Your single source for all things cellular and the best prices on island. Guaranteed. Call or WhatsApp 322-0475.
Here is another big hit. Selected by DJ Lynn on Radio Cayman.
Rebel Station. And the system. DTI. Love them. Because we love them.
Them a call us pirates. Them a call us illegal broadcasters. Just because we play what the people want.
Analyze. So them a call us pirates. Them a call us illegal broadcasters. DTI try stop us, but they can't.
One station it gonna run England. Two station it gonna run England. Three station it gonna place a nation. Everybody want to listen to the PlayStation. Advertisers still show and make you dance all around. They want take the equipment and I put it in a van. If them broke down one, we make 5 more strong.
Down in England, we've got lots of radio stations playing the people music night and day. Yeah.
Reggae, calypso, hip hop or disco. The latest sound today is what we play.
On and on, off and on and off and on.
If them turn it on, we are go turn it on back. If them turn it on, we are go turn it on back. If them broke it down, we are go build it on back. If them take where we record, then we get fresh talk. Now me love this station and me love them to a man. We release and dump it and all boom shot. BT I a fight, but them can't stop that.
Pirates, illegal broadcasters. Just because we play what the people want.
Them a call us
pirates.
Them a call us
illegal broadcasters.
DTI try stop us, but they can't.
Oh no, they can't.
Yes, if one station it gonna run England. Two station it gonna run England. Three station it gonna run the nation. That's why everybody listen to the feast station. To advertise a dance and ram your sessions. If a music you want to get them new brand. Action station, me say for everyone. If them broke down one, we build 5 more strong.
They're passing laws. They're planning legislation. Trying their best to keep the music down.
No. DTI, why don't you leave us alone? We only play the music others won't.
Them a call us
pirates. Them a call us illegal broadcasters.
Radio K-Man's 89.9 FM. Good morning. Yours truly, DJ Lynn, inside the studio. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend indeed, and looking forward to another positive week. I know many of us are waiting for the payday to come around, but hey, don't worry. For some of us, it is coming up this week. And for others, you might have to wait until the end of the month. But hey, don't worry, listen. We got a lot of great music on Lock Radio, Radio K-Man's 89.9 FM. Proudly brought to you by TCE Pete, Blue Marlin Restaurant, Georgetown Farmers Market, our good friends over at V2V Value and Variety Store. Oh, and did I mention the Blue Marlin Restaurant? Yeah, make sure you check them out today for daily lunch specials as well. Anyways, stay locked in. Make sure if you're out on the road, put on your seatbelts and get ready as we have a fantastic show for you guys today. Anyways, keep locked right to Radio K-Man's 89.9 FM, RC Fusion.
Hi, K-Man.
Yes. Cool.
More music. Hi, K-Man. This is Ashley Gooden, and you're listening to DJ Lynn on Radio K-Man.
So long ago, we had a one-room shack and the living was low. And my mama by herself raised me and my bro. Wasn't easy, but we did it with the lid of the flow. Worked hard, got us off to school every day. Kept our eyes on the stars as the skies were gray. Gave us drive to survive, really showed us the way. Now I really understood what she was trying to say. She said, son, there be times when the tides are high and the boat may be rocky, you can cry, just never give up. You can never give up. In this life fit to lead if you only believe